what is happening, guys? I hope you're all doing well. So today I'm going to be delving into the champion Sylas, the Unshackled, a mage from Demacia who we know has been imprisoned for his magic and, you know, breaks out, I guess, and, you know, a bit, you know. Yeah, just going by the Warriors Music video, just totally does that. Just that's exactly what it is. He's like, pow. Bye, Garen. So we're going to be checking out this champion. We're going to be having a look at the story, the voice lines, the trailers, and just getting a general feel for this character in general. So I'm very excited to delve into this character today. So first things first, we're going to delve into the story of Sylas. And yeah, let's pop on over to the universe page. I don't know why I'm making that sound right. Okay, so Sylas the Unshackled. Pretty pog design, I'm not gonna lie. I actually hear that Sylas is like a really powerful character, so I'm really intrigued to learn more. Also, like, did he just like melt this? Because that is pretty fucking sick. So Sylas the Unshackled. So, as a mage born to a poor Demacian family, Sylas the Dredgeborn was perhaps doomed from the start. Despite their low social standing, his parents were firm believers in their country's ideals, so when they discovered their son was afflicted with magical abilities, they convinced him to turn himself in to the kingdom's mage seekers. That sucks. Ew, bad parent alert. Get out of here. Poor Sylas, that freaking sucks. Noting the boy's curious ability to sense magic, they used Sylas to identify other mages living among the citizenry. Big word. For the first time in his life, he felt he had a future, a life in service to his country, and he performed these duties faithfully. He was proud but lonely, forbidden from associating with anyone but his handlers. Through his work, Sylas began to notice that magic was far more prevalent than Demacia cared to admit. He could sense glimmers of hidden power even among the wealthy and prominent, some of whom were the most outspoken decriers of mages. But all were punished for their afflictions. The elite seemed above the law, and this hypocrisy planted the first seeds of doubt in Sylas's mind. Those doubts finally bloomed in one deadly, fateful event, when Sylas and his handlers encountered a mage living hidden in the countryside. After discovering it was only a young girl, Sylas took pity on her, and when he tried to shield the child from mage seekers, he accidentally brushed against her skin. The girl's magic rushed through Sylas's body, but rather than killing him, it shot forth from his hands in raw, uncontrolled burst. It was a talent he did not know he possessed, and it resulted in the deaths of 3 people, including his mage seeker mentor. Knowing he could be called a murderer, he went on the run and quickly gained notoriety as one of the most dangerous mages in Demacia. Indeed, when the mage seekers found him, they showed no mercy. Oh, that's so sad. And though he was still a youth, Sylas was sentenced to life imprisonment. He languished in the dark depths of the Mage Seeker compound, forced to wear heavy shackles of magic-dampening petricite. Robbed of his arcane sight, his heart turned as hard as the stone that bound him, and he dreamed of vengeance on all who had put him in there. After 15 wretched years, a young volunteer from the Illuminators named Luxiana began to visit him. Lux! Sorry. So if you guys don't know who Lux is, who you 100% do, of course, Lux is Garen's sister. So a prominent member of Demacian wealth. So, not great. Even with his shackles, Sylas recognised her as a singularly powerful mage, and over time, the two forged an unusual and secretive bond. For Sylas's knowledge of the control of magic, Lux educated him about the world outside of his cell, and brought him whatever books he desired. Eventually, through careful manipulation, he convinced the girl to smuggle a forbidden tome into his cell, the original writings of the great sculptor Durand, detailing his work with petricite. The work revealed the secrets of the stone to Sylas, and it was the foundation of Demacia's defences against harmful sorcery, but he came to see that it did not suppress magic but absorb it. And if the power was held within the petricite, Sylas wondered, could he release it? All he needed was a source of magic, a source like Lux. Oh, but she never visited Sylas again. Her family, the immensely powerful crown guards, had learned of their contract and were furious that Lux had broken the law to help this vile criminal. Without explanation, it was arranged for Sylas to be executed. That's so mean! Oh, on the scaffold, Lux pleaded for her friend's life, but her cries fell on deaf ears. As the headsman pushed past her to raise his sword, Sylas managed to touch Lux. As he had predicted, her power surged in the petricite shackles ready for him to unleash, and with that stolen magic, Sylas blasted his way free, sparing only the terrified young crown guard. He left the Mage Seeker compound not as an outcast, but as a new defiant symbol of the broken and persecuted in Demacia, and while travelling the kingdom in secret, he amassed a following of exiled mages. However, perhaps he always knew that even their combined power would not be enough to succeed in toppling the throne. Which is why, with his band of closest followers and several hardy oxen, Sylas eventually journeyed over the northern mountains into the frozen tundra of the Freljord. There he seeks new allies and the great elemental magic of ancient legend, so he might return to Demacia and demolish the oppressive system that has made him and his fellow mages suffer for so long. Oh wow, that's a really interesting backstory. I didn't know that Lux and Sylas actually A, knew each other that well, and B, had a friendship, because the Warriors music video is super interesting because you see Sylas fighting Garen and Lux is the one that steps up and is gonna fight him. Also, Sylas's power very interesting. So essentially he can touch any form of magic and absorb it, but he can't necessarily control its release of the attack, although I'm guessing he's kind of learned how to, which is super interesting because it makes me wonder, could he touch certain, for example, in the Freljord, some ancient magic from the Freljord. So for example, Volibear is a great example, and if he touches Volibear, does that mean he can absorb Volibear's powers? And also, how long does he have those powers contained in the Petrosite? Can he absorb and absorb and absorb and keep it in the Petrosite, or does it have to be released when he touches them? So I'm presuming he must be learning, but that potentially could make him a very, very powerful character, especially because I know there's a lot to do with runes in Runeterra, and I know that Rise is a character that obviously is trying to suppress the world runes so they don't get used for bad, because obviously they've been very destructive in the past. So what if Sylas got hold of world runes? Oh my god, that could be nuts. Wow. Interesting though. Okay, so the next one that we have is called The Recruit. So yeah, let's take a read of this. The sun was at its peak, just high enough to illuminate the exiles' camp hidden deep in the canyon. From the shade of his lean toe, Sylas of Dredgeborn waited patiently for his scout to return. At last, he saw her rounding the stone spire at the mouth of the crevasse, leading to a wide-eyed young stranger into the camp. "This is Hap," said the scout. "He wants to join." Sylas emerged from his shelter, eyeing the youth casually. "Does he now?" I don't know why I said it. "Does he now?" Ooh. It's exactly what Sylas sounds like, of course. "I know him from the underground. The Seekers took his family. He made it out by the hair on his hide." Sylas nodded, quickly assessing the young man. He could sense the boy was blessed with powerful magic, some black and deadly pall. As for the rest of his character, Sylas could see nothing. "He's a good kid," assured the scout, "and he's from Dredgeborn." Sylas's brow furrowed with a pleasant surprise, as if meeting kin he never knew existed. The youth stammered out an introduction. I thought maybe I could join your cause, sir." The entire camp of outlaws left. The boy's eyes darted around the grinning faces, searching for some hint of what he had done wrong. "There's no sir here," chuckled Sylas, "unless you want to address every one of us that way." Yes, the youth said, nearly repeating his mistake. Abashed, the recruit seemed to wonder if he'd made the right choice in coming to the camp. Sylas placed a heavy shackled arm on the boy's shoulder, hoping to quell his embarrassment. "Be at ease, Hap. No one will judge you here. We're all a long way from Dredgeborn." He felt the youth relax his posture. "I know your struggle. They're always watching you, hounding you, making you feel inferior. Well, none of that here. Here, you belong." Hap beamed, staring at his feet, although he felt unworthy of his newfound joy. "Do you know why I wear these chains?" asked Sylas. The recruit shook his head, too timid to offer a guess. "They're not just weapons. They're a reminder of where we come from, of everything we're capable of, and of our liberation to come. Are you with me?" Yes, I want to be liberated." "Good," said Sylas. "Tonight, you'll break your own chains." Dusk was falling, and the darkened brush on the side of the road was the perfect cover for an ambush. There, Sylas lay in wait with a dozen of his most trusted mages. The recruit nervously picked at his fingernails. "Don't worry," said Sylas with a reassuring smile. "I was nervous for my first one. After a while, it becomes as natural as breathing." Before the recruit's nerves could be assured, the thunder of hooves and wagon wheels rumbled in the distance like a coming storm, and within seconds, the carriage came barreling down the road before the lurking hijackers. An instant before the horses arrived, Sylas signalled to his comrades, and the ambush began. With a flick of his wrist, a scruffy old mage summoned a thick cord of iron vines that was snapped across the road, catching the galloping horses. And then poor horses. The racket was deafening as the seeds fell neck first into the dirt, the carriage careening over them. The mages sprang from their cover, subduing the dazed crew of the carriage with various weapons and spells. Sylas leapt atop the overturned coach, eager to seize the passengers of the unprotected cabin. "Let's go, recruit," he called to Hap, beckoning for the lad to join him. Hap scampered atop the cabin and began to pry the door. It cracked open, revealing a very battered nobleman. Sylas's eyes flashed with a malicious gleam. "Well, look who's kneeling now, my lord," said Sylas, extending his hand. The nobleman bristled. Though he was gravely injured, his hatred for Sylas remained intact. "I'll not cower before the likes of you." "Good," said Sylas, "because I wouldn't want you to miss this." In minutes, all the nobleman's guards and coachmen were lined up beside the road with their hands bound. Sylas paced the line, individually acknowledging each captive. "I ache for you all, I do," said Sylas. "You are merely cogs in their wheel." Sylas paused, his tone shifting harshly as he gestured to the bound nobleman. "But you chose to serve them, and thus serve their cause." He turned to his band of outcasts, loudly offering a question. "Brothers and sisters, these folk work in the service of swine. What does that make them?" "Swine! Swine!" replied the outcast. I don't know why I'm sounding so happy. "Should we allow them to go free?" "No!" yelled the mages. "What if they have a change of heart? Promise to never bother us again," asked Sylas with a coy smile creeping across the corners of his mouth. "They'd be lying," yelled the scruffy old mage from the brush. "They can't be trusted," said another in the gang. "Then what is to be done with them?" asked Sylas. "They must die," shouted a young mage, his hatred beyond his years. Others yelled out in agreement until the phrase echoed across the line. "Swine must die." Sylas nodded, as if he was slowly being persuaded into their words. "So it must be." Sylas touched the shoulder of his recruit. His petrified shackles began to fume with a dark smoke, and he closed his eyes, savouring the captured power. The sight sent a quake of dread through the captives. Many fell to their knees and wept, pleading to be spared. Only the nobleman stood proud, defying his circumstances as Sylas addressed his crew with sombre finality. "It pains me that I cannot show you the beautiful world to come." The world sent a chill through the recruit. "Sylas, no," Hap protested. "These are just people." Ignoring the pleas, Sylas extended his arms and fingers and unleashed the magic stored in his gauntlets. A thick black cloud billowed from his fingers and collected above the heads of the nobleman's crew. Almost in unison, they began to claw at their throats in suffocation, and moments later they fell to the ground dead. A grave hush fell over the mages, having dutifully observed the execution. Only the nobleman wept silently, tears streaming over his clenched lips. The only sound came from the recruit. "No. Just why?" said Hap, falling to his knees. Sylas eased the boy back to his feet, consoling him with a fatherly hand. "Hap, you wanted to help our cause. This is it. This is our liberation." He gently guided the recruit towards the nobleman and urged him forward. "One dead lord at a time." Hap looked at the nobleman through tear-filled eyes. He held out a trembling hand, preparing to take the life before him. Then he let his arm go limp. "I can't." Sylas's tender patience began to slip away. "This man is not your friend. His fortune is built on your suffering. He would sooner see you hang than show you any kindness." The recruit would not budge, and at last the nobleman found his voice. "You're a monster," he said, his voice breaking. "Yes," replied Sylas. "That is what your kind said when you locked me in the dark." Sylas held forth his hand, its shackles still faintly glowing. The magic he had taken from Hap mustered one last wisp of blackness. The small dark cloud enveloped the nobleman's face, drawing the breath from his lungs. And as the man writhed, Sylas looked back at the recruit, not in anger but in mourning. "I'm sorry, Hap, but you are not ready to be liberated. Go. Return to your chains." Sylas watched Hap turn to leave, his eyes averted in shame. The recruit looked down at the wrecked carriage before him and the long dirt road that wound back to the capital. Sylas could almost feel the boy thinking, dreading the misery that awaited him in his old life. Hap bent down, pried a dagger from the hand of the dead coachman, and returned to the nobleman, still struggling for breath on the ground. I'm ready. As the youth raised the dagger above the nobleman, Sylas's sorrow turned to unmitigated joy. No matter how many he liberated, it always made him smile. Wow. Oh, that was fucking good. Oh, okay. Sylas is a very interesting character, isn't he? Bloody hell. Very vengeful, very angry. Definitely not afraid to kill, which makes him a very morally corrupt character, like a lot of the characters that we look at in this game. Very morally corrupt. I mean, absolutely no mercy, even for the people who just like are working for the nobleman. Like, they just need a job. You know, some people like just need a job. They need to feed their families. They need to look after their homes and take care of their children. And he doesn't care, because if it's anyone living and profiting off the mages being used and like being in chains and being taken advantage of, then like he has absolutely no mercy for them, which I do understand. But also there comes a point where like killing isn't always the answer and murder isn't always the answer, and it's not necessarily their fault, because they still need to live and they still need to eat and they still need to work, and it's not necessarily their fault as to what the noblemen are doing. But also at the same time, I can understand that rage and that anger and wanting vengeance, and especially wanting to like free the other mages. Like, absolutely, especially if it's like mages doing it to other mages. Like, I don't think Sylas would have any mercy for like any of the mages that were like imprisoning other mages and using them to their advantage in Demacia. Like, I don't think he'll have mercy for any Demacians. It does make me wonder though, because he spared Lux. Like, he did spare Lux. Like, Lux helped him. I wonder if he sees Lux as someone that potentially could help him in the future. Like, I'm not too sure, but very interesting character. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing the voice lines and seeing how this character comes across, because they definitely come across as very angry. I mean, I feel really sorry for Sylas, because I mean, it doesn't surprise me that he's turned out this way, especially like being imprisoned from when he was very young, like being like a child in prison, like and then like being taken advantage of, having to hunt down other mages, like being forced to hunt down other mages so then like they can live a life of imprisonment like he has, and then killing like the only people that he could ever talk to, and essentially becoming a traitor by accident because he didn't even understand his own powers, and neither did the people that were like supposed to be mentoring him, didn't understand his powers. He accidentally killed some people and then got imprisoned for it, and then finally made his first friend, who turned out to be in the Crown's Guard for Demacia. So like, oh my god, and then almost got executed by them. Like, it's just so sad that like he found a meaning and he thought he was doing the right thing by like helping them find other mages in Demacia, when actually he was helping them to imprison mages in Demacia, and then to have it all turn around on him. I can see why this character's turned out this way. You know, he's had very little love in his life. He's had very little, like, affection. He can't even, like, touch most people without taking their powers. He's almost like Rogue from X-Men. Like, especially if they're, like, magic characters. Like, he can't touch anyone without taking their powers. And it sounds like he's getting more control over it now. But I can imagine if he touched something that was very, very powerful, maybe he wouldn't be able to, like, maybe the Petrified wouldn't be able to help him control it. Super fascinating though. I'm very interested to watch his trailers and his voice lines to get a little bit more of a feel for this character, but so far, very, very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so as always, I do also like to go on the wiki, because sometimes the wiki gives kind of like a little bit more of like an in-detail description of some of the other things that have occurred, especially when it doesn't say. I mean, in here, it literally has what happened. So in the Warriors music video, so Sylas actually teamed up with the Winter's Claw, which makes sense, to fight against Garner and his sister Lux, as well as other Demacian soldiers. Sylas and allies were defeated after Lux summoned Galio, which we saw in the video. I would love to know what happened to Lux after that, because oh my god. Freed from the authorities. This is after he like escaped from Lux. He used his powers to destroy the Mage Seeker compound and free the imprisoned mages to start a revolution against Demacia for the persecution of mages. He led them to the royal castle to capture King Jarvan III and publicly humiliate him, but to surprise, the king had already been killed. So his prince Jarvan blamed Sylas and the mages for causing death of his father, while Sylas decided to humiliate him instead. So, oh my god, so he tied him to a chair and forced him to eat a rat to reflect on the terrible conditions experienced by the prisoners of the compound. But when Lux came to stop him, with her magic suppressed after drinking a petricide mixture, she shot a crossbow at Sylas and stabbed him in the foot. Jeez. So the Dauntless Vanguard arrived in time, led by Lux's brother Garen, and Lux warned Garen to avoid letting Sylas touch his petricide armaments, but so Garen grabbed an axe to strike him. Sylas counterattacked Garen by absorbing the magic of one of his downed allies, but Jarvan put him in a chokehold to avenge his father. Sylas was outnumbered by the Demacian army, so he told his allies to retreat to the sewers to escape Demacia. And as he began to leave, Lux tried to warn the mages not to follow him and told them that there was no need to worry about her because she wouldn't hurt an innocent. Oh. Due to Jarvan blaming Sylas' revolution for the death of King Jarvan III, he enforced a zero-tolerance policy towards magic in Demacia, causing innocent mages in Demacia to be sentenced to merciless treatment by the Mage Seekers. Out of desperation, some of the mages planned to flee Demacia to migrate to Sylas' camp. Oh, wow. Oh, that's sad, actually. Last name, due to his family being on the lower end of the social spectrum, to be differentiated among others with the same name, they often refer to his name and place of birth, so Sylas of Dredgeborn. He was previously part of the Mage Seekers, a branch of Demacian military to arrest magic users, but arrested himself after killing 3 people when he accidentally stole a young girl's mage magic. He's currently early 30s. He hates Demacia, but he also hates Noxus. Cool. He doesn't transform when stealing another use of magic. It's mainly done for gameplay clarity. Right. Oh, so his shackles were never intended for a human, and using them on a mage like Sylas is overkill. That's why they're so big and cause him to suffer so much, but it also makes him a fearsome weapon in his hands. And then the scar on his abdomen is the result of an operation trying to remove his magic organ. There was a short-lived theory that mages had a magic organ somewhere below the liver. Ooh. Dressed like a prisoner due to be previously incarcerated, but continues to do so to appeal to the downtrodden masses. Oh, his right arm is a brand that mage seekers burn into the skin of mages. The other pulsing lines on his arm are intended to be magic pulsing through his veins out into the manacles. They constantly drain his natural magic. Right, yeah. I fucking nailed that. So after starting the revolution in Demacia, he's now seeking the ancient Freljordian magic, presumably with old gods like Volibear, Anivia, and Ornn, and is developing an alliance with Winterscore to help with his cause. Okay, so the first one that we have got to watch is Sylas the Unshackled Champion trailer. So let's check this out. I'm excited. This character's got a couple of trailers, so this is really exciting. So yeah, let's take a watch.
Honor. Justice.
Ooh.
Tradition. All shackles for the ignorant.
Ooh, that's a cool effect. Oh my god, they're huge.
15 years in the dark, I was illuminated.
That's so cool.
Without lords or peasants. Where every Demacian is a king.
Oh wow.
Where those who keep us in chains
Ooh.
have their power ripped from their grasp.
Ooh. Oof. All right. Whoa.
Rise up, brothers and sisters. Whatever they bring,
Oh my god.
we'll match it. Crush the oppressors. Claim your birthright. And burn their kingdom to the ground.
Oh wow.
All we need to start the fire
Lux.
is a single spark.
Ooh, oh my god, that was such a good trailer. Also, the voice. Gorgeous. But also, like, can I just say, like, very, very well done. Very fitting voice. This is so cool. So that must be a big block of petricite as well. Did that have cracks in it? That was freaking sick. That was such a good trailer. I loved that. I also loved seeing like the moves and stuff. Like that was so cool. But like the voice acting, oh my god, it's so good. I'm so excited to listen to the voice lines for this character. Okay, there is another trailer as well. It's called Magic is Rising, Stand with Sylas. So let us take a listen and watch of this one as well. It's a bit shorter, so.
Demacia was not built on a dream.
This is beautiful. The artwork already.
Was built on a lie. All those noble ideals and promises of a brighter future, they were never meant for the likes of us. We have been stripped of our freedom, our dignity, our very lives. I say no more. Mages of Demacia, the day has come. It's time we fight back.
Oh my god. Okay, right, I'm sorry, right, but like what they need to do is they like, because a theory that Necrit had, right, was that the two areas that could potentially you could sign in the MMO would potentially be like Demacia and Noxus, and like a big part of the MMO would potentially be like the Sylas like mage war. Like how sick would that be in the MMO though? Like it would be so cool if you get to choose on the side of like whether or not you want to be like on the side of the Crown's Guard, or whether or not you want to be on the side of like the mages, and like you end up like in this fight. Oh my god, that would be absolutely amazing. I am so down for that. I'm so down for that. So next I'm going to check out Sylas's quotes and voice lines. I'm very excited for this. I'm really excited to get a feel for the character. Now this channel had a video on Sylas, and I really enjoy using this channel's videos. Like I just love the fact they put like the music and like the animated Sylas with it. I think it really gives a really good effect for the voice lines. However, Skin Spotlight actually didn't have a voice lines video on Sylas. They do have an interactions video voice line video on Sylas, so we are going to check that one out as well. So before someone comments going, why didn't you use Skin Spotlight's one, there actually isn't one for general Sylas quotes, so we are going to use this one instead. But I will check out the interactions one as well, because I think that's the biggest part of like things that you miss from these videos is like the actual specific interactions with characters. But hopefully I can get a bit of a feel using both. So we're going to do this one. So let us check out this video. I'm very excited for this. I really enjoy these videos. So yeah, let's get a bit more of a feel for Sylas as a character.
Once you've seen the truth, you can't keep living the lie.
That is very true.
I was born a mage. Demacia made me a criminal.
Okay, that was cool.
They always said I was a monster. Oh, the irony. Villainy never knows itself. What can they do to me that they have not done? Can
I just say, first of all, this kind of makes him look a little bit like a Disney villain. I don't know why, I'm just getting like Disney villain vibes, and do you know what? I am like totally here for it. I am like loving it. I love like the feel that I get for this character. It is so cool. Like it's the fact that like he has had to like drive himself into villainy. Like he knows to like free the mages and to essentially get vengeance, he needs to be a villain, because he knows that like that's how they view him, even though like morally, if you like look at his standpoint, they're the villains. So it's quite interesting that he like knows that he's got to do bad things to get vengeance, and he knows he is now like a villainous character in this story, but also like of how necessary it is for him to step into that role.
I used to be locked up, but I didn't care for it.
No.
You can't cage me for long. It took prison for me to find liberation. I died many deaths in my cell.
That's so
Breaking
sad.
out was nothing. Watch me break a kingdom. Even death cannot chain me.
The music.
Good, evil. What does any of that even mean?
Literally just enforcing my point. Exactly, absolutely. Like, he knows that by fighting Demacia, like, he sees them as evil, they see him as evil, but like Demacia thinks they're good. I don't think Sylas thinks he's good. I just think that he knows that Demacia are doing awful things to mages, and so like that makes them bad, and like what they've done to him is like bad, so they need to like pay. But then like there's ways to make them pay without like murdering them, but I think like he knows that he's that far gone. Like he's too far gone down this road now, especially with being in prison for so long, you know, and like being forced to do all these things like when he was like younger. It's just horrible.
A man who seeks control is a man who needs to die. They locked up a boy but let loose a killer.
It's all psychological. It's all psychological. You put someone in a room, gave them no love and affection. They couldn't even have physical touch of anyone. Their own family betrayed them. Like, literally their own family betrayed them. You left them alone. You took everything from them. You made them feel like a monster. What are you going to produce? A monster. What did you expect to happen, Demacia? You need some bloody psychologists is what you lot need, honestly, and just not to be dicks. Like, that would be nice, wouldn't it, Demacia? But no, you can't manage that, can you? Honestly, what did they think was going to happen? Like, come on. Like, you've essentially just, like, they've literally seen him be like, oh, he has magic, he's evil, even though he wasn't evil. It's nature versus nurture, and you've completely ignored the nurture and just fucking threw the nurture out the window, and you've just essentially, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, Demacia have seen them as evil, so they've made them evil. Like, even though they're not really evil, but now they kind of are evil because they're being forced to kill to just try to, like, save the other mages. It's really tragic and sad. And it's just this thing of, like, if Demacia didn't do that, it reminds me of BBC's Merlin and Camelot. This is, oh my god, yes, this is exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. All the mages in that series and everyone that used magic, there were so many of them that were good and there were so many of them that were evil, but just like Uther, who was the king of Camelot at the time, just painted them all with the same brush and saw them like all as evil, and so like would like have them killed or whatever. And it's just like, it's not what any of them, like, it's not like what majority of them were, or some of them were because of things that Uther had done to them, you know. And it just cultivates this like, it cultivates this like evil that doesn't necessarily even exist in some people, and you're just like making them evil and enforcing your opinions on people that are just like good people that just want to like live but have this little bit of magic in them that's not even their fault because they were fucking born with it. It's Maybelline, do you know what I mean? Like, unfair. And yeah, so I can see why Sylas has ended up this way. Do I think that he should be killing people? No, I don't. But also I can see why he's at that point, because are these people probably going to change? No, they're not. So this is where I'm kind of hoping Lux will come in, you know? Lux can save the day, you know?
I'm no stranger to shadows.
Oh, this is cool.
After 15 years in the dark, I was illuminated. I will be the monster they think I am. I am no traitor. I am the true Demacia. I will show them a world without lords or peasants. No more kings, no more queens, no more mage seekers. It all ends now. Look at all those good little cogs, unaware of the wheel they turn. Swine and sheep, that's all they are. They work their fingers to the bone, serving a king they'll never meet. I must show them there is more to life.
See, that's quite an interesting sentence, though, because, like, in the story that we read, it was like there were people who were these, like, swine and cogs and sheep, but, like, he just killed them. Like, he didn't even show them that there was, like, a better life that they could have. He just killed them, which I think is kind of showing his evolution as a character of, like, he's kind of gone from, like, oh, I could, like, show these people a better world where they don't need to do this to live, and then, like, anyone who is associated with these kings and queens and lords are making this decision and they are bad by association. But it's interesting because that's exactly what Demacia, like, nobles are doing to the mages. They're painting them all with the same brush, and he's doing the exact same thing to any other Demacian that does not have magic. So it's like, it's this, oh, like, even ones, some of them that do, that are just like noble and not fighting for his cause, essentially anyone not fighting for his cause, he is painting with this brush of, like, you are evil and you are against the mages, and like, you're you know, I need to show you that you're wrong, and that might be by killing you. Like, it's just, it's interesting how it's like they're almost becoming the same evil, just on two different sides. It's fascinating. It's very fascinating.
Let me help you think for yourself. I do not kneel. See the remnants of my bondage, and know you can be free.
The voice acting,
question
amazing.
Authority, then slit its throat.
All right, fucking hell.
I serve no one. Join me or die. We will rip the power from their cold, dead fists. Might is wasted on the mighty.
God, the music.
Smash the throne! Bring it all down! The bluer the blood, the sweeter it spills. Heads will roll. Embrace the chaos. From the rubble, true order will be born. No more cages. No more masters. No more slums. No more dungeons.
Okay, I'm just telling you right now, I would absolutely love if one of the future seasons of Arcane was about this, about following like Sylas's like teaming up with the Winter's Claw and like fighting against Demacia, and then like the other side of it you have like Lux and Garen and everything. Oh my god, that would be incredible. Gasp. I would so be down to watch that. That would be so good. Like, I am just literally picturing in my head right now like the Arcane level of art with like Sylas like literally doing the thing like smashing like the throne into mass. Oh my god, it would be incredible. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
The crown is a lie! There is no king! Time to take what's ours!
This music is fucking gorgeous, can I just say? This music is absolutely stunning. I am loving it. Really giving me a feel. But also, like, this voice acting is so good! Oh, God, this is good.
As long as I draw breath, so does the revolution. That which restrains us begs to be broken. Tradition is a crutch for the mindless. Time to watch it burn. It will be brother against brother, father against son. Noxian swine, Demacian swine. They'll all end up at the slaughter. This rebellion just got wings. Time for the kings to bow. Wake up! They can't hang us all. Unshackle your mind. This is the truth. Every Demacian a king. I've got your justice. A crown for everyone. A true symbol of our nation.
Oh, mate, this is so
brothers
cool.
and sisters. Topple the hierarchy. Free Demacia.
I'm sorry, this is so fucking cool. I am sat here right now like, this is so cool. Like, oh my god. I genuinely might want Demacia as like the next Arcane thing that they do. I mean, there's so, like every single region could produce a really good story, but just like I can genuinely see this happening, like this story happening in Arcane. Oh my god, like the fight scenes of like Sylas like absorbing the different magic and fighting against like Garen and Lux like summoning Galio. Like, I know it have no warriors, but like imagine that in Arcane. Oh, it'd be, and then that would be like the end of the episode. Oh, it'd be so hype. Oh my god. And this voice acting like is absolutely perfect. I'm just imagining how good it would be to watch like Sylas like speaking to all these mages that have rebelled and like form this army, and the Winter's Claw is with them, so we get like Freljord shit. Like, oh my god. Amazing.
Behold the true order. Chains build revolutions, one link at a time. Those who wait to be freed do not deserve freedom. Spread my words.
See, that's quite interesting though, because like, surely anyone that like wants to be freed, like they may not necessarily have as much power as he does to like free themselves, you know? Like, some people want to be free, you know, some mages I'm sure want to be free, but they just don't have like the magic or the capability or ability to able to like escape. So like him being like anyone who like doesn't try and escape is like, you know, doesn't deserve to be free. Like, that I don't necessarily think is right. Like, fair enough if you can do that and you are powerful enough to do that, but it's like, it's a bit selective. Like, surely it should just be like any mage that like doesn't have their own freedom should be freed, regardless of how strong and powerful they are. And if they, you know, fair enough if they want to be free, but like, yeah, it just seems a bit like, you know, like he had to wait 15 years to escape, you know? Like, took him a while. Bit hypocritical, in my opinion.
Magic is rising.
Yeah, it is.
Such magic should never be bound.
They should never let him go
Mage
to Mount Targan. Like, he would have a fucking field day.
shall inherit the earth. I'll show you magic. Onwards, brothers and sisters. The great mage rebellion starts now.
Wow.
Whatever they bring, I'll match it. My streets! You think you're better than me? A shepherd with no flock is just an idiot with a stick.
That is brutal.
Run, sheep, run! Return to your master, like the lapdog you are. Die with your lord!
Jeez.
You're part of the problem! Face what you've made!
Wow.
Our chains are only as strong as we think they are. Hurts, doesn't it? Sweet liberation! And that's how we slaughter swine.
Wow.
Do your walls keep others out, or you in? Idols are made to be desecrated. Every light casts a shadow. You raise walls, I destroy them. How beautiful a world is without walls. Bad news, Your Highness. It's time to end your bloodline.
I think that one's for Jarvan.
Mages, unite! Do not allow them peace.
Wow.
Long live the rebellion!
The music is amazing.
So, who wants to kill the king?
Oh shit. Oh wow. That was amazing. That was so good. Really good. Very tense. Definitely shows a lot about his character, and definitely shows his like this like dark side of him that he has. Very vengeful and angry, and I'm so curious how it, especially I'm actually quite curious to watch one of these, because like I don't think I've seen a special interactions one yet. I'm quite interested to see how he gets along with certain characters, especially characters not from Demacia, or like characters that are of some level of power. I also would be really interested to know, like, if he touched like a demon like Fiddlesticks, what would fucking happen? I'm so curious. I just want Sylas to go around like touching different people just to see what would happen. Okay, let's watch the special interactions one. There he is. There's the boy.
Your secret is safe with me, Luxana. Remember that kindness.
Oh. There we are. Hello.
At last I've come for you,
Oh.
Jarrow Lightfeather.
Oh shit, all right.
Well, well, Fiora, aren't you the very portrait of privilege?
Yeah, doesn't like Fiora, that's fair.
How much will the Laurent name be worth when your house is burned to the ground?
It makes sense why he doesn't like Fiona, though.
You traveled across the world to die for someone else's king. Pathetic. Oh, look. A walking monument to ignorance.
Jeez. God, his art, his
Idols
like...
are made to be desecrated,
That makes
Galio.
sense. His actual like patch like gauntlets are huge.
The wondrous Galio.
What we all say.
Yes. I've read all about you.
He has, thanks to looks. Bit orcs.
Ah, Garen. First to die for the ruling class. Hello, Crown Guard. Remember me? Villainy never knows itself. Eh, Garen?
Oh, that's a good line.
I'll give you a head start, little princeling.
Holy shit.
Jarvan, where shall I hang your royal corpse?
Oh. Oh, he ain't sorry. He
Bad
ain't sorry.
news, Your Highness. It's time to end your bloodline.
Jeez.
Do what thou wilt, Jinx.
I mean, that makes sense that he would like Jinx. Fair enough.
Every light casts a shadow, Luxana.
Oh.
Noxian swine, Demacian swine. They'll all end up at the slaughter.
Makes sense why you also want like Noxus. That's, yeah, fair.
I wonder, is that hammer meant for me?
Interesting.
You've been to prison. You know how this goes. Soar through the clouds, bird girl. But the earth quakes beneath you.
Shit, hell, alright.
Ah, you're holding something magical, aren't you, rune mage?
Oh.
Discord is the best chord, Sona.
Love the rhyming.
Do your walls keep others out, or you in?
Oh, interesting.
You raise walls, I destroy them. Let's see who prevails.
I didn't realize that was Tatalia. That's interesting.
I had to eat rats in prison. Suppose I could do it again?
Oh, I don't want to see him eat, Twitch.
The Vastaya have suffered much, but get in my way and you'll suffer more.
Oh, wow.
Do not mourn your parents, Vayne. They had it coming.
Oh, bit rude.
I've done my time, Yasuo. Prepare to do yours. Shadows are for cowards, Zed.
Jeez.
A true symbol of our nation.
Oh, wow.
And that's how we slaughter swine.
No mercy. Java's just not written
Leave
down.
a power vacuum. I am sorry, little light.
Oh, that's sad. Oh, whoa. That's sick.
Hurts, doesn't it?
It's a bit weird, he just like sucked him into his Okay, moving on.
A little taste of your own. A fitting sentence. Oh, the irony. Well, that was satisfying.
He just keeps doing it. A moo
A powerful curse indeed.
Oh. Oh.
I think I found your bear.
Ooh. Use your own bear? Plenty.
This'll send them running.
Oh, wow. That's so cool that he can, like, nick, like, most
Time
people's
to
skills.
watch it burn.
Interesting.
A murder of crows. You know, for murder.
Oh. That's freaking cool.
On guard, blue blood.
Right.
At last, the entrance I deserve. Surrender your sword, Crown Guard.
Jeez.
I've got your justice. Might is wasted
That
on
is
the mighty.
pretty sick, to be honest. That's really cool. I like the abilities.
We'll bring the cataclysm home. A crown for everyone.
Oh.
Ha ha! Sanctimonious.
Kale. Oh. Oh.
Let's use that spark to light a fire.
Oh, wow.
Your spark is wasted, girl.
That's interesting, though. Like, the only one that he
For
really
your own
has,
good,
like...
little light.
Yeah, the only one he has, like, any form of, like, kind of affection for
They
is
always
looks.
said I was a monster.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's sick. So I don't think he can actually do this. Like, I think he just absorbs the power into this. I don't think he actually turns
Change
into anything.
for everyone.
But that's pretty sick.
Such magic should never be bound. I'm just a convict with a hammer.
Oh.
This rebellion just got wings.
Clever. That would be really sick if he actually could transform, though. That would be awesome.
Now, let's see what's on that scroll.
Ooh.
Let me speak for you, Sona. Fortissimo! Support for the cause!
Oh, wow.
Well, this is going to be confusing.
Oh, so it just generates like a random one?
I feel so toxic.
That's good.
Time to jail the jailers.
Ooh.
I'm great at doing time.
Some of these lines are so clever for Sylas.
Now it is I who tries hard.
Flippin' heck.
The winds blow in my favor. I'm no stranger to shadows. I guess I can work with this. I actually feel cheated. Better than nothing.
So it's interesting though, because he's not even like touching them like with his hand. He's like touching them like with his chain, which is quite interesting, which means to me he's like developed like full power through his arm guards.
Wants to kill the king. The great mage rebellion starts now. See the remnants of my bondage.
Oh, he's like bound at the beginning.
You can be free.
That's so cool. Look.
Breaking out was nothing.
Ah.
Watch me break a kingdom. Look at all those good little cogs, unaware of the wheel they turn. Those who wait to be freed do not deserve freedom. Onwards, brothers and sisters! This place has potential. Let's tear it all down.
Oh, it was cool. Definitely very interesting. Definitely gave a good idea of like some of his interactions with other characters. Like I was saying, I think like the only character he seems to have like any form of like affection for or kind of like referred to in like a nice way was probably Lux. Like, and he actually felt like genuinely sorry. But apart from that, like I think everyone else he pretty much had quite a high distaste for. You know, he didn't really seem to like any of them, or just kind of saw them as people that would like get in his way, which does make sense for his character. So the next thing we're going to check out is his champion spotlight, just because this obviously can garner a little bit more about his abilities. So yeah, let's give this a watch.
A prisoner turned revolutionary, Sylas is ready to seize the enemy's power, then break them with it. He's a mage that prefers to beat down opponents up close, stringing together a series of powerful strikes and bringing foes to their knees with their own ultimates.
You're part of the problem!
It's time for a revolution. Welcome to the Sylas Champion Spotlight. Sylas uses his Q to lash out with his chains, damaging and slowing enemies. After a brief delay, the intersection of the chain lash detonates, applying an increased slow and damaging enemies again. The best way to overpower enemies is with his W, Kingslayer. Sylas lunges at a target with a powerful strike, damaging them and healing himself. If the enemy's at low health, the damage is increased. If Sylas is at low health, the heal is increased. It's an extremely powerful finishing tool to end any champion's reign. Sylas has a two-part E ability. With Abscond, Sylas dashes a short distance and shields himself. For a short time after, he can recast the ability as Abduct to whip out his chains, stunning, damaging, and pulling himself to the first enemy hit. Sylas's passive is a whirling chain effect that happens whenever he attacks after using an ability, kinda like Sheen. To make the most of this Petrocite burst, pummel enemies every chance you get. Link together basic attacks between each spell cast, and whiplash to rack up the shack kills.
Time for the kings to bow.
Sylas is here for revolution, and he will use his enemies' powers against them, literally. His ultimate hijacks an enemy's ult for his own use, which Sylas can then hold onto and cast exactly as if he were that champion. While Sylas can take an enemy's ultimate whenever hijack is ready, even if that ability is on cooldown, he has to wait to steal from the same target again. How long before he can hijack them again is roughly determined by their ultimate's base cooldown.
To light a fire.
Interesting.
His talent for Grand Theft Ulto means Sylas gets max charges on champs with ammo.
I actually feel cheated.
And completely changes into champions that have a transform ability. No matter what their ultimate does, Sylas will find a way to use and abuse it. By late game, his low cooldown lets him take multiple ultimates in quick succession, as long as they're from different enemies. Here he snags Rumble's equalizer to even the odds at the Baron pit. Unfortunately, he whiffs on Syndra, but he still gets the last hit to finish her off. He's not done yet, though. With Alistair's ult, the Unshackled becomes the Unbreakable, leaping back into the fight to turn Steer into Steak. Move, chick. Get out the way. Each situation calls for a different strategy. Sometimes it's best to take an ult that helps out your comrades or has a big impact on teamfights. Other times you just need a single finishing move like Last Caress to whip a single foe. Gnarly.
Oh my god.
Makes him a hijack of all trades. So no matter what you find yourself up against, if you play smart, you can beat champs with their own game and kick their ass.
I'll give it back. Promise.
Oh wow.
With Sylas, no fight plays out the same way twice. While he defaults to a bruiser play pattern, his ult-stealing potential means every skirmish brings something new. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. Make the most of what's available and turn your enemy's power into their demise.
Die with your lords!
If you want a magical bruiser that wins with brain and brawn, join up with Sylas and start an insurrection. For more info on the Unshackled, break out to the links below.
Oh, is that Vi? Oh, jeez. A lot of fun. He definitely seems like a very, like, tanky, like, hard-hitting character, and some of his, like, moves were really, really good. I really like the copy ability. I think that's really fun. Is this champion I think I'd play? I don't know. I'd definitely like to try playing him, though. I love his voice lines, though. They're just so good. So the last thing that we're going to check out is the login screen with the theme as well. We have already kind of heard it, I think, but we're just going to take a listen just specifically to the theme music. So, yeah, let's take a listen. Oh my god, that was cool. Oh, poor Blitzcrank though. This champion is really interesting, and this music is beautiful. It's very sinister, and it's got a lot of like very like low tones in it, which obviously like depict his like mood and his like character like turning more to like the evil side, I think. And then has these upbeats of these like really powerful like orchestral music like instruments that come in, which I think represent like the fight in this character and the like rebellion and the anger. Like you can hear this character's angry. Like this character is angry at Demacia and at what happened to him. It's just super fascinating. But it's also like beautiful. Almost kind of like magic in a way, you know? Like it's dangerous and scary, but like it's beautiful at the same time. But yeah, very, very eerie music for sure. Oh, it's so beautiful though. Absolutely gorgeous soundtrack, like absolutely stunning. and then like this build up. I feel like that beginning bit to me, it almost like represents like the initial breakout of Demacia and him fighting to get away and everything, and then this bit makes me more think of like the build up of like the rebellion to them attacking like once again in like the Warriors kind of music video. So this is him kind of like building his like campaign and rebellion and fighting in these like smaller battles to try and like free the mages and like rallying them all together. You know, this really makes, and then this is it building to him doing that and gaining that like courage and strength as well. So beautiful though. I love the violin music though. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So good. It's just beautiful. It's so beautifully done. But I do also think it shows like the sadness in this character. This bit, oh my god. So beautiful, so beautiful. Just wow. Just wow. Like, absolutely just gorgeous. Like that violin bit at the end, just beautiful. I think also though it's very sad. Like this music is very sad, and I think it genuinely shows that this character is only kind of filled with anger and hate and resentment and just wants vengeance. Like he just wants freedom and vengeance, but like he's almost like freed himself to the point where like he is now trapped in this fight. You know, and he's fighting for freedom, but like, what's the cost of that? You know, like he can't be in Demacia like he was again. He can't be free like he was before without taking down Demacia, essentially. It's very interesting. But it makes me sad for him as well. Okay, so overall, my view of Sylas, very interesting character, very intense. The actual voice acting and like portrayal of this character is fantastic. I think this would be like an amazing character story to play through in Arcane. This would be awesome, or just in the MMO, either one. I definitely want more of this character for sure. Definitely with like the War of the Mages on Demacia, it's super interesting, but it's also very sad. It's very sad, and I would love to see how it turns out and what happens and the characters that were introduced in it. I think it could be super interesting and intense. But yeah, this character also does make me quite sad for him as well. It's just sad to see him like go down this path, and it really makes me want to read the Lux comics as well to see this character in those and see what happens, because yeah, I think his interaction with Lux is quite interesting, and especially because she's such a young mage and she's so powerful, and she obviously is like a very prominent member in Demacia. It would definitely be interesting to see where like her journey goes as well. But yeah, regardless, very interesting. Thank you so much guys for the recommendation of this character as well. Anyways, I am going to leave this here for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Plenty more content on this channel coming where this has come from. And if you want me to react to any other champions, please leave it down for me in the comments below. Let me know who you'd like. Quite a few people have requested Yorick, so that character might be the one that I do next. But yeah, let me know your suggestions down in the comments. While you're down there, if you want to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, would be appreciated. And also, if you did not know, I am also a Twitch streamer, so you can come check me out over at georgieegames on Twitch TV, playing all sorts of games over there at the moment. So if you want to come and say hi, please do. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Bye!